The first roads were footprints in wet sand. On an African shore, in the dim light of dawn, a small band of people moves. The air is sharp with salt, and shells crack underfoot. From these first migrations, humanity spread across the planet, adapting to every landscape, memorizing every route. Paths became villages, and the chance discovery of a harvest led hands to plant. Farmers pressed seeds into the dark, rich silt, their lives governed by the rhythm of the river. This agricultural spark ignited independently in the Fertile Crescent, along the Yellow River, and in Mesoamerica. Stored grain demanded calendars to track the seasons, walls for protection, and rules for living together. Writing began as simple tallies scratched into clay, while law and shared beliefs gave strangers a common purpose. Around 3,000 years before the Common Era, rivers became the planet's first highways, carrying grain, gossip, and gods to growing cities. Power became organized, and the first states rose to span the horizon. Classical empires would rise and fall, but their roads and ports endured. The Silk Road carved paths across mountains. Monsoon winds filled the sails of ships crossing the Indian Ocean. Trans-Saharan caravans connected a continent. What traveled faster, spices or stories? Both did, along with new faiths, new knowledge, and invisible microbes. Distant worlds began to connect, learning to depend on one another. Then, ships crossed entire oceans, linking continents that had never met. Around 1500, these voyages bound the globe, and the Columbian Exchange forever reshaped life on Earth. Horses thundered across the Americas, while maize and potatoes nourished millions in Europe and Africa. But new diseases also ravaged populations. Diets shifted, cultures collided, and the world's demography was redrawn. The food on your plate, the very fabric of our global supply chains, still follows the wake of those currents. Next, a revolution of the mind. In late 18th century Paris, a printer's boy wipes ink from his hands as pamphlets rustle in a candlelit cafe. From salons to city streets, arguments challenged thrones. In the American colonies and on the island of Haiti, people reimagined what it meant to be a citizen, not a subject. Soon, these new ideas would be tested in the fire of industry. Steam hisses, factory mills thrum, a whistle signals the start of the day, and a new world is born from muscle and coal. Work is redefined, childhood is shortened, and cities swell beyond recognition. Across Africa and Asia, empires expand their reach, and lines drawn on maps harden into borders. The world accelerates, hurtling toward a century that will explode. 2 world wars shattered old certainties. From the wreckage in 1945, the United Nations arose with the promise of dialogue over destruction. The chains of colonialism began to break, even as a Cold War held the world in a tense standoff. Globalization then linked markets and cultures as never before, while the digital revolution changed the very nature of how we work, communicate, and remember. These forces are not relics of the past. They are the currents that shape the headlines on your screen and the challenges we face today, from climate change to the ethics of artificial intelligence. The world you inhabit and the choices you make within it all grow from this deep and turbulent history.